What's up, Saber fans and non-Saber fans? It's your boy Breeze back again. Today, we have an install on a special Saber. It is a Graflex, but it's not just any Graflex. This is a vintage Graflex handle, and this was installed for Mike. So Mike got all of his parts to build his vintage Graflex. So it is a vintage Graflex handle. He had already sent it to me with the grips put on and the D-ring put on, as well as the clamp card. Everything is all vintage. The only non-original parts that are on the Saber are the glass eye, the Graflex pins, and I believe the screw. But everything else is from an original Graflex handle. Very, very awesome. Beautiful, beautiful Saber. The one that started it all, right? So even the clamp has a serial number, even has the rivets here. Got the bubble strip. Beautiful. So Mike sent this to me with just the hilt, and he also sent me a Solos Hold blade holder, which I designed a chassis around. So we are gonna go ahead and take a look at that. So Mike, in order to remove the chassis, you will have to remove this glass eye because it does act like a chassis retention, even though the chassis is pretty secure in there. This is just another layer of retention here. So we're just gonna unscrew the glass eye, pop open the clamp, rotate, and then just pull it all the way out. And then you just slide the chassis out, but definitely be careful when you are putting the chassis in and out. As you can see, completely empty. Here we go. So this is the installation that I did for Mike. Mike, I did tell you that I did something special for your vintage Graflex. So I included a custom crystal chamber with a real quartz crystal for the chassis. And here is the top part of the Solos Hold blade holder. Mike did want his chassis printed in bronze filament, and you can check out the detail on here. Mike, I did a bunch of greebly work on here, nothing too crazy, but I wanted something to look like it fit in universe inside a Graflex. And in Arabesh, I do have a New Hope right here above the soundboard. That is Breezy Saberworks logo, and then it says Graflex in Arabesh here as well. So as far as the installation goes, in here, you'll see a Shtok V4 lit PCB. It is a 2-button setup. Here and here. We have a crystal chamber with a real quartz crystal the crystal will mimic the blade color that you have going on at all times. We have a removable rechargeable 18650 battery. I did put a battery wrap on here for you as well, installed with a Proffie 3.9. It does have a kill switch, which is right here. And then a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speaker. All right, and let's go ahead and turn her on. So you're just gonna wanna flip the kill switch to turn her on, but I will have you note that in terms of the battery, you take a look, the springs are facing the emitter. So you wanna make sure the negative side of your battery is on the spring side of the battery tray. So your positive will always point towards the speaker. All right, let's go ahead and flip her on.
We got a lot of carbon scoring here. Looks like you boys have seen a lot of action.
All right, now in terms of the sound fonts that are on your Saber mic, it is all sound fonts from A New Hope. I believe there are 5 or 6 on there. All right, and then what you want to do is line up your hole here with the hole of your glass eye. And like I said, you want to be careful when you're sliding this in. You don't want to rush it. You just want to make sure it slides in nicely, and it should just, you should be able to see it, and it should just stop you. And then you want to put the glass eye in and screw it on. This can be a little tricky sometimes. You want to make sure that it actually catches the threads so you can screw it all the way down. And then once you have it down, you take the base or the grip and you lock it all the way to the right and push the clamp down. All right, now it is a 2-button setup. So this switch here on the side, that's gonna be your power switch. Your red button here, that is going to be your auxiliary. So because it is a vintage Graflex, there's no spring when it comes to this switch. So in order to turn it off and on, you're gonna wanna pull it down and then push it back up. All right, I'll show you right now. There you go. There's a shine through on the glass eye. It's a neopixel connector. Here is your auxiliary button. And then to turn it off, same thing. You're gonna wanna pull down and push it back up. All right. I do have gesture controls on here. Should you want to use them, twist on, twist off, if you don't want to do the power button. But like I said, with the power, make sure you're pushing down and pulling up. All right, and so with the Solos hold blade holder, it accepts a 7/8" blade, and this has been programmed for your 36" blade. And I know you're concerned with the blade pins that you got for this. They were a little bit too long, so I did shave those down a little bit, so it should be nice and smooth inside there now. So let's go ahead and take a test with my tester blade. This is a 7/8" blade. It will be a little snug when you push it in, but that's fine. Just make sure you push it down. It makes good contact with the pins. And then you can fire her up. Now the speaker does a pretty good job considering that a vintage Graflex doesn't have sound venting on the bottom of the pommel. So really most of the sound venting is coming out of the clamp area here, and you can actually feel the vibration of the speaker right here. And in order to change sound fonts, you're just going to want to tap the auxiliary button.
I suggest you try it again, Luke. This time, let go your conscious self and act on instinct.
Ben Kenobi?
So it is a Proffie V3, so it does come with all of the effects, blaster block, clash, all of that. I will send you the button controls for the prop that I did put on the soundboard.
Ben Kenobi?
I also have Vader font on here as well for you.
What is it? Father's Lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight.
Well, that's it, guys. This is a vintage Graflex, a New Hope lightsaber. This was sent in to me by Mike to install. It has a Solos hold blade holder in here as well. Mike, thank you so much for trusting me with this and allowing me the honor of installing this lightsaber. It really feels awesome in hand and makes me feel like a kid again when I first watched A New Hope. So thank you so much for that. If you guys are looking for a custom lightsaber installation, a custom neopixel blade, a conversion of a Black Series or a Master replica, hit me up, check me out. Breezy Saber Works on Facebook, Instagram. Check out my Etsy shop, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till next time, may the Force be with you. Peace.